Ho, 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 gentlemen and lady. We are going to be comparing the Aputure 300D2 versus the Nanlite Forza 302. They're both the newest and heaviest hitting 300 in both the Aputure and Nanlite lines. Good versus evil, light versus dark, red versus blue. Who will claim victory? I don't care. I've been filming for hours. These two lights are listed at the same price. The prices right now are all screwy because it's the holidays. Both companies think these are worth the same amount of money. So we'll see if that's true. Coming from the perspective of a creator and or videographer. So Andrew Locke at Gaffering Gear has individually reviewed both the 300D2 and the Forza 302. He's done a lot more in terms of the nature of the light, the color of the light, the application as far as a professional gaffer is concerned of each light. I'm not doing that. So I will refer you to his video. Is it here? Are the cards here or are they here? I'm confused. They're here?
Yeah.
And then maybe the other card here after that one expires to Andrew Locke's videos. As far as I can tell, they're both good color. And they're both the color of the sun. Rang-a-lang, jang-a-lang. All right, let's open up and see what you get with the Aputure. You get this case. It's a decent case. You can put your little name tag in there. Look at that. So you get a manual, you get a remote, you get a little strap for your bag here, get a little bit of dirt, go outside, man. You get your reflector and a reflector crush resistant foam. It's like a snoot. You've got your illuminator, your, what is it, power controller? Is that what we're calling it these days? Not ballast, AC power cable, connect your head. You got everything you need to light your scene. A little gift. Oh boy. Reflector.
I think this one's telling that he's never taken it out of the baggie.
Yeah. But look at that custom piece of foam. Look at that. You could mount your Christmas tree on that. Oh yeah, you also get the light. And it comes with a cap. I don't have a cap here, but trust me, it is clear. It's actually on right now. Same sort of thing. You have your power unit. You have your clamp, you've got your two cables. So all the elements are the same other than this does not include a remote, which is a real shame because now I have to buy the remote because I use a remote, but y'all don't use remotes, so they didn't include it. Why do you do that? Why do you use your phone like that? Nanlite continues to support the use of their remote in their newest fixtures. You've got HSI, special effect. You've got a lot more going on this remote than the old Aputure remote. Additionally, Aputure stopped supporting their remotes. I think this fixture was one of the last fixtures where they went down the remote road. So you should be able to use this light in conjunction with other fixtures like the Pavo tubes, light mats, what have you. Aputure has basically, but from what I understand, the Aputure app is better. Sidus Link works fine. Nanlite 2.0 has come out and apparently it's much better, but I've not seen it compared directly to Sidus Link. That's a video in and of itself, and it's very much beyond the scope of this video. 10 points to Nanlite. And -1 that it wasn't included. Fresnel. It's fine, it works. It's cheaper than the Nanlite Fresnel. I think they both twist the zoom. But it doesn't come with barn doors. Barn doors are a separate add-on. So this is like $100 add-on for the Fresnel. The barn doors are a separate add-on. They're 50 to 70 bucks or whatever. You can add to the Fresnel, or you can leave on this sort of blacked out Bowens adapter thing. And these barn doors have some velvet glued onto them to further in-blacken them.
Couldn't do that in the tungsten days.
Yeah,
They'd burn up.
They should be... Oh, that's a good point. This comes with a grid. So this is another alternative to controlling your light versus the Fresnel, which will focus it and increase your brightness. This will only reduce your brightness, but if you just need to focus it, it's fine. And with these barn doors, you'll be able to cut it. I've had no problems with this except for the parts where they lie. The big lie is that magnetic gel holder. So you would put the gel in here, and there's a little magnet back there so it snaps in. That'll burn your gel. Every time I've used this, I have burnt up the gel. They were Roscoe gels. And I say were for the aforementioned reason.
If this was an old tungsten light, what would we do? We just clip a big old piece of gel out to this outer part of the barn doors with some clothespins or whatever. And then the light is spread out over more area, so it's not as much of a hot spot, and it's further away from the heat source. So you probably just old school is new school, I guess.
You still got to do it.
Yeah, still got to do it. So this, boop. Don't need it. The bean counters got in the room and they're like, no, this should be 2 kits. And this should have been sold together for like 130 for this.
So you're giving a point to Nanlite.
Yeah, I guess that's a point to Nanlite.
I'll defend Aputure.
Okay.
Because I have to as a content creator. This is going to cut way better than this.
What is that? What do you mean cut? Oh, if you need to make a slash.
Yeah, if I need to make a slash or I need to shape the light, this is going to be, I think, cleaner.
Because the lens internals of this make it a fuzzier lines.
Yeah. Now that's a much sharper cut.
What we're cutting is the COB directly rather than cutting a much larger light source, which is the Fresnel. The accessories for the Nanlite we're going to cover are this Fresnel and this remote that was not included. Yeah, twist. It's a little bigger. I'm holding it this way for clarity because if I held it this way, that would just be very confusing. This is plastic. You do not get that nice velvet glued to the barn doors. But this has wings. And you got a little safety.
The safety cable almost caused an accident.
Right. So you place it down, would be my guess. This is literally designed around the of plastic. Just kind of push it in there.
Squish tolerance.
The squish, yeah. To squish the plastic into the plastic right there, and then as you just release the tab there. So it doesn't feel as pro as that steel wire and tab thing that we had with the Aputure.
Oh boy.
Okay.
See, I like that. Okay, by the way, double drawstring, far superior to single drawstring. But then you don't I think for the Aputure, there's not even a case for the barn doors, and you have to break it apart and put it in separate things. Yeah. That's cool.
It's just like a little sack from Santa's Little Helpers. So the price difference is pretty much the same. So I think you get more value for the Aputure, but this cost me $159. The Aputure Fresnel's like $100, and then the add-on kit is somewhere between $50 and $70. So, and you gotta buy the remote if you use the remote, but y'all don't use the remote, so it's free. The Nanlite has tint control. The Aputure doesn't have tint control. That's a big marketing headline feature difference. Will it make a big difference?
These only get you the equivalent corrections of just under a half correction gel.
We're to the part you were all waiting for where I talk about umbrellas. Buy this light, don't buy this light. Umbrella supremacy. A lot of what I'm calling the documentarian class people have broken up through the ranks of content creators with their umbrellas, with their LED lights, and they realize this is very viable. And they're realizing, hey, I can hook up like a 7-foot umbrella to one of these way faster than I can a softbox that takes up the whole room. Where?
Oh yeah, that's getting there. That's getting there, boys.
Maybe pinch something here? I mean, there's a screw here, so you could
But then it won't tilt with the head.
Yeah, exactly. So really the easiest solution, I was like, is there something Bowens compatible? Yes, there is this Godox adapter. It's the only Bowens adapter I found, but you can see what it does to the light, and it narrows it. And that's not what we're trying to do with a softbox. We want wide. So it's something. So we want the umbrella to essentially fill. Do I need to make that brighter to make that clear? Is that clear?
The
okay.
light is filling the umbrella.
Yeah, the light is filling the umbrella. Okay. I add this bugger. Forgive the swearing. And it's a reassuring rattle. Not as great. It's better than nothing, but it's not optimal.
Very secure connection.
Oh yeah, we don't have that reassuring rattle to let you know it's there.
Right. Also, it tilts with. Look at that. Wow.
These lights are both named 300, but do these lights both game 300? And that is at 100%. That's pretty 300-y. Nanlite. Oh, it's still at 0. There's no parasitic draw. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. I wonder if the green magenta shift affects this any. This is all the way green.
Oh, it did.
It uses a lot less power. So this is balanced. Maybe they're both firing. And this is
All the way magenta.
Okay, which is
Or a little more.
a little more. Going green
Really does help
really
you.
saves the planet
Really
there.
helps you go green.
Yeah. The Nanlite uses batteries in the way you'd think it would. You add 2 batteries to this, so you can run this at 300 watts or whatever you do, and it will draw evenly from each battery. So you can use the full capacity of each battery. Why did I go into such detail to explain that? That seems obvious. Well, it seems obvious to you, but it is not obvious to the Aputure engineers. This does not draw power evenly. It has a primary battery and a secondary battery. So it will max out the primary side before drawing voltage from the secondary side. So you can run this thing uneven at say like 70 and go flat on your primary side, and then you're like, oh, I guess I'll just swap them around or something. No, it doesn't work because you still need to pull some voltage from the secondary side, but you've gone flat. So now you've just got this battery capacity that was mismanaged.
So now you can't use the power you have.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds really annoying.
Yeah. 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 We're going to test these lights 6 feet from the wall. There's going to be obviously some ambient light in this test. I don't really care because when I use these lights, there's going to be some ambient light there. So, and it's going to be the same ambient light for both lights. So just, I don't know. If that bothers you, then
Go watch some other
Then
channel.
I am sorry. No, don't. No,
Go take your feelings and burn them in a fire.
No, I will personally apologize to you in the comments. We are at ISO 424 frames a second.
Wait, for that or for this?
For that.
For this.
Because we're certainly not at those settings for the camera.
F10, 320 foot candles. The bare bulb is F11.
Oh.
Okay, 340.
That's 20 more than the other one.
Okay, I think we realized there was a little bit of difference in the wattage between the green, the wattage went down. Let's go to 80 green and compare that.
Okay.
Yeah, 320 foot candles, F10, but it's a slight reduction in
Goes all the way the other way.
light. Okay. Yeah, we're back up to 340 foot candles again. So,
3, 2, 1.
ah,
F18.
F18. 1,000 foot candles. F18. 830 foot candles. Wowee.
That's quite a difference.
I'm sure I'm still exposed properly.
Flood first.
Flood, spot, and then barn doors.
Fire! Whoa! I don't even want to look at that reflected.
F20. All right, a little brighter than the included reflector. That is 1,300 foot candles. So you want to spot that in? F36 and 3,200 foot candles.
This is the Nanlite with the Fresnel on 100% on flood.
And flood. 900 foot candles, still at F18. All right.
Wow.
Oh boy, that's like 12.
Dude, that
Nine
goes
degree.
so much tighter.
Although it is only 3,600 foot candles. I believe the Aputure was 32. Yeah. So, and that's 36 f-stops.
Oh, 3,800.
38. Yeah, I got to watch my arm there. Yeah. Well, it's just your fall off is so much because that is a tight beam. So this is pretty useful. As a Fresnel, I think, yeah, like it's...
Like, I could do a sun slash with this. Put the barn doors on?
You push these tabs on the side.
Yeah, that's what I was struggling with before.
Yeah. There you go. It's a two-man operation, so... Sorry, ladies.
Okay. Not the sharpest cuts.
Yeah.
Let's see if we adjust.
Well, that should make it that's going to make it less.
Even fuzzier.
Yeah.
Fuzzy cuts.
Okay. But yeah, that's
If your cuts turn fuzzy, throw them out. They're not good anymore. Get new lunch meat in the fridge.
similar slash to before. Oh, that's way better.
That is a much nicer slash.
Yeah, that's not too bad. You can see a little bit of the
Curve.
cave, the concourse, but
Barrel distortion.
it does seem a little sharper than I remember the Fresnel.
Yeah, and it's a pleasing fall off as well.
Okay.
It's a good feather, I think.
I don't think creators are going to make a buying decision based on the Fresnel. A professional, like a gaffer, might really factor in. But I think with a creator or even a videographer, probably not as much now. So.
There is a fair bit of light leakage around the back of this thing.
Yeah, more than the Aputure.
I didn't pay attention on this one.
Striking.
Strike away.
Already I can tell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's a much sharper cut. Let's try that also with the grid.
No, sir.
That adds some ugly
No,
edging.
sir. Okay, use the grid on its own then. You're gonna notice how much cleaner that is.
Yeah.
So you can put like a Kuka Loris. It's like a slow Loris, but it's a kook. And you can use that more with this sort of modifier or more with an open face. You would not ideally want to use that with a Fresnel. There's no reason why you can't buy the barn door kit from Aputure and put it on your Nanlite. So that's what we went ahead and did, because why not? Those are not as...
They're ever so slightly sharper, but only so slightly.
They're not as sharp as the Aputure. I think the position of the COB's different.
This is the Aputure Fresnel on the Nanlites. Oh, that is not the way that's supposed to index.
Which one's the Nikon of Bowen mounts? Yeah, you can see I go from spot to flood. That doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's much
and you have a lot more kind of fall off here. So if all you had was this Aputure spotlight and you need to do spotlight effect, it's better than nothing. Maybe, is it better than the included hyper reflector? And I would think maybe so, because it's creating one big source rather than, maybe it's not the end of the world if you don't use a Fresnel a whole lot.
Right.
I know you all were looking at this video, you were like, what are the difference between the cables between these two lights for your purchasing decisions? So we're not gonna keep you waiting, we're gonna get right into it. But first, the Nanlite power cable, 237 inches. For the Aputure unit, this is 238 inches, thus invalidating this whole measurement thing to begin with, because we have the exact same length. Thank you for your time. So this is the cable that goes from the head to the power unit. It's a cool 10 feet, 120 inches. This is the Aputure cable going from the power unit to the head. This is 118 units. Sorry. And the units of measurement are inches. I'm so glad we did this. It's all the same thing. Well, except for the Aputure is using a 5-pin XLR. It's got a little locking connection on either side. Wowee. Bruh. What are these? Where did this come from? It's so clicky. The head lead is different. The AC connection is both, I believe this is a Limo. These are compatible on either one. I really like the Aputure cable more. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
But this cable's nice, man. If you want to wrap a cable, look at that. Look at that. Wow. And this thing, I guess you just do it like this. And you just stuff it in your pocket. Both of these units come with their own sort of quick release clamp system. And they're both similar in that they are quick release clamps. They are both different in how they implement. So the Nanlite is based off the Modifier clamp. And as you can see here, it angles like a mouth. It has like a mammalian mouth sort of thing, or a lizard.
Clamshells?
Anyways, because of its beak, when things get a little narrow, it has a little trouble with this. But since, again, it's based on the Modifier, you can pull that out. You have this included inset. I don't know what this component of the Modifier clamp is called. Like, I don't really love this.
It's definitely not very tight on there.
Yeah, and now it's not even the rubber. It's like, it's that just metal on metal part of the clamp that we're basically clamping it right in there. So it's fine here, but when we get to this sort of thinness, it's not so great. But because it is based on your typical Modifier clamp, you should know how to use it. To remove, you have a really nice solid push button, so I can just go. I'm not even looking. Wow, look what Aputure did here. Instead of clamping like a jaw, it's a vise. This is a very sinful mechanism. But the main virtue of it is that you can take something relatively skinny, like this problem. Look at that. Nice. My entire body weight is hanging off this right now. Yeah, this is also ratcheting.
So you can position it for your headphones while you're monitoring your audio.
Yeah.
These are the features they don't tell you about on a spec sheet.
This Modifier clamp is a lot faster because I guess mechanically it takes less to do this than it does this. So you're going to be spinning this quite a while.
Yeah.
So you got to prime it.
Oh, this is reminding me of camera plates. Also, you may have it on there upside down.
You can do it.
No, I mean the clamp. Because I think the moving part, I would imagine, was supposed to be up at the top.
Oh, is that upside? Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's a lot better. And then just by pulling this knob, it'll fall into your hand and gravity will assist you. That's not so bad. That makes me look real ignorant, the fact that
Have you been
I've been using this light for years. And that is the thing, is if you want to, you can reverse this if you need to for whatever reason. This is not really reversible. Like, you can't V-mount plug. That's because you need gravity working with you in this design. So, fortunately, I don't think there's a particular reason why you would need or want to reverse the Nanlite power unit. The Aputure, because it has power cords coming out of both sides, I could see an argument for why you might want to plug it in upside down. because then you have access
Then all
to the majority of your cables.
Then all your controls can be upside down. It's perfect.
Yeah. You just use the remote or just use the Bluetooths. I like that this Nanlite unit has all of its cable connections right here on the top. I like this design. So this is a bulkier design than the Nanlite over here.
You mean the Aputure?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. But the Aputure, sorry. Part of how they were able to do this is that there's just more surface area. This is a larger, heavier? Not really. But it is a larger unit. This gets me a lot. Not only does it get me, but Z's not gonna get it. He has to take the unit off and look at it, whatever. You know, it's just right here and you can see it and you don't have to take the unit on and off to do it. Pretend this is a surface. You can do that. Look at that.
This is the Mad Catz controller of buttons. Like, this feels like cheap junk. This dial, I'm like, here's the one thing. Like, if I drop something metal, this dial is kaputs. And then all this, the menus, it's all fiddly. Like, all of it's just, But like these dials, they have one job. There's actually bars that if you set this thing down, these cannot be crushed because a flat surface will actually miss the dials because of this stuff. The buttons, way better, way more satisfying. Awesome dials, everything has one job. And this power button, oh my goodness, satisfaction.
The Aputure, it has to go like that, which isn't really.
And then the controls are, like if
Yeah.
it falls on its side, then the controls are in a bad spot because
Yeah.
you have to have cables coming out this end and cables coming out that end.
So but it is a smaller unit.
Yeah.
So, you know, there is that. It's also Aputure.
Ooh.
Okay, we're gonna go through these menus real quick because for whatever reason, I don't find this interesting. I assume that they're just gonna be the same thing. I assumed that the cables weren't gonna be the same thing, and look at me. We're not gonna test any of these. We're just gonna see what it has and then see if that, because this is newer, so it might have more options. This is a daylight light. So there you go. Daylight and does tint. Menu. DMX. Control rotates. You can rotate the screen. So for some reason, I guess you can run this upside down. I don't know.
Please, audience, don't run your V-mount anything upside down.
Screen brightness, button backlight. You can turn those button backlights on and off. Screen brightness. Rotate screen, fan control. Smart, full, low, off. Well, you can turn them off. So I guess it just limits the brightness.
Yes.
You got your DMX. I think these are both wired DMX. I don't think either of these have a lumen radio built in. I would be very surprised if either have a lumen radio built in. I'm just going to go ahead and say
They don't have CRMX or WDMX that doesn't have built-in lumen radio.
firework, explosion, auto, manual, welding, interval loop, flash, pulse, storm, auto and manual, TV, paparazzi, and then back to candle fire. It's a daylight light, but it does give you the option to adjust your green magenta values in them. Oh, you have a locking mode. That's helpful. Well, that didn't work. Oh, you long press. It did work. You don't accidentally lock it, and then you have to.
Oh, so there's a tooltip
long
that
press.
shows up when you short.
Yeah, you don't have to read the manual because the manual is the UI. Wow. Did it even turn on? I can't tell. The spongy buttons. I don't really use DMX, so I'm not your guy for that, but they have it. Dimming curve. I didn't think I saw a dimming curve over there. I thought it just went between linear and log, but it has a reverse log as well and an S curve. So if you're trying to get real specific, like when you're real low, like the difference between 1% and 2% is like huge. But if you're on like an S curve or the exponential curve,
It'll be more
then
biased to the bottom.
you can really fine tune at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think that is useful. The fan mode. We don't have a silent mode like we do over there. We don't have medium, low, or whatnot stuff. It's either auto or always on. So studio mode, that is great. As soon as it detects power, it'll just turn on. Now, I would not buy these for studio because I would just get the ones that are much cheaper where it's just all in the head and you just plug them in. But if you wanted to use it in a studio situation temporarily or whatever,
that one just has a switch on it, so it's probably just always on anyway.
Oh yeah, you just leave it on the on switch and now it's in studio mode already.
I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way to freak out clients when you're on location, is turn it on studio mode. That'll it's gotten me before. Lighting effects. Long press.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Long press. Paparazzi. How do I cycle?
Now to maybe tap it now.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Fireworks. Faulty bulb. Lighting. Wow, lighting.
It's lightning.
Thank you. TV. Pulsing, strobe, explosion. What are these? Oh yeah.
That just instantly.
That just gives you a trigger. You can set this to align with your included remote. Make sure you're in the same channel and group. And wireless. So no wireless. 2.4 gig. I think, does the phone use that?
That's normal Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but I think the phone uses that as well as Bluetooth.
I don't know. That may be wireless DMX.
It runs off cable DMX. It doesn't have built-in Lumen radio.
I mean, this clearly has wireless Bluetooth or whatnot. So it's not a Lumen radio, but it's something. So they're the same, except this one has more options. Okay, now we're going to talk about not the illuminators, but the Aputure 300D. I might as well measure it a little bit. Yeah, that's a solid foot, whereas this is 11 inches. So I think it's fair to say that they're definitely pretty comparable in terms of the space you need to pack them up. This one is lighter. The Nanlite lives up to its name. Is this lighter, thus better? Carbon fiber? Or this is chunkier, heavy duty, reliable, durable? How do you interpret that? I don't know. We're going to talk about rotation here. You want to shoot down. You can see this is an issue because of the modifier we have. Can't be helped, although there are some ways that this specific yoke can deal with that. But if we're shooting up, the position of the cable itself, it's not up here, it's down here. So the way you have to deal with that is unplug it, orient it. So you're just bare bulb trying to shoot at the ceiling, for example, or you just don't like have a big modifier.
Now, does that?
You can go that way.
Oh, okay.
You can get the positions you need. You just need to use all the different rotations and the tools at your disposal. One more of those tools is the fact that this yoke has a different mounting point. So this helps with those shooting straight down sort of scenarios. that we had just run into with a modifier. But as you can see, you can go fairly vertical without having to put it on like a separate boom arm or whatnot. So that's neat. Try to rotate the aperture. I can pretty much go straight up, yeah, without having to loop it around and do something crazy. That said, if I do loop it around, this is a little more...
It's a little cleaner.
We do not have the ability to mount the yoke in a different orientation with the stock yoke. This is all we're getting until we grab some third-party grip gear. I'm going to try to objectively tell you how these two Bowens mounts stack up to each other emotionally. I'm not going to use a first-party accessory for either one. So this is a Godox, so it should be equally awkward for both. And to release, I feel all right.
That is a nasty, nasty nubbin. It is painful even on the first pull. Sorry, carry on.
Now I feel compelled. Now I have to defend Aputure again.
Oh no!
Okay, I guess you can hear the sound of it rattling a bit more. It is, oh, there we go. Part of it's,
What is it?
oh, that was my review right there.
Oh, okay. Are they actually opposite turning?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so
Maybe.
I don't know which one's the Nikon of lights. The Nikon of lights. In summary, the Nanlite's a little brighter, but it also pulled a little more wattage. So it didn't seem to me
To be more efficient.
necessary. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but you know, they're pretty comparable from a brightness
But that
standpoint.
Fresnel though.
The nature of the Fresnel is different.
I like this one better.
You like the Nanlite Fresnel better?
I like the big boy.
I like this.
Oh really? Okay.
You want to very much define where your light spill goes and whatnot and stuff. I will give it to not so much the Aputure Fresnel, but the Aputure barn door booster pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cables come out the top, you can set it down, everything's right there. Like, you can't always clip it to a pole or hang it on something. If you need to set it down, it just works well. Yeah, the more I've looked at this and fussed around with both of them, winner, chicken dinner.
They're both fine. I used the Aputure for a while. The Nanlites, you know, it's okay. Honestly, you know, this is probably like a lot better, and you guys are such a great audience that I'm just gonna go ahead and make this one available for purchase because it's like so good. So, you know, this will, you know, a link in the description to the eBay page for this. It's been treated so well. It's such a good light. Ho ho ho, jangle out.